Hello, everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. It was a nice day today, so I came out and I did some work out here in the garage and around the garage and so forth. But now I'm getting ready to go inside and have myself a nice bottle of water and get ready to cook my supper because the sun is getting ready to go down. But as you can see, it's a nice day. Just a couple of leftover chemtrails up there in the sky. Not much of it left, but it's dissipating now. Of course, I probably because I breathed it all in. All right. Hey. Oh, you two are playing, huh? Burning off your energy? All right. So, one of the things I did was I painted this cylinder black with flat high heat paint. That's going to be one of the sand batteries. So, I'm getting it ready to fill up with sand. Now, one thing I want to stress on a sand battery is you want to use dry sand. And a lot of times you go into like one of the big box stores and you buy the play sand, and it's got a lot of moisture in it. So if you grab that sand and it's ice cold, that means there's water in it. You don't want water in your sand battery. You want just plain sand, okay? As if you go with the water is going to heat up and turn to a steamy mist, and then when you have any opening whatsoever, it's going to dissipate very quickly. The heat's going to go out with the moisture. So you don't want that. You want it to stay in the sand and dissipate slowly. I also took the valve out of the other tank. Now this tank is aluminum. That tank is steel. So I'm going to do two sand batteries, because I want to see which one actually is better, whether it's better to use an aluminum casing or a steel casing. Now, my research online says steel casing, because although aluminum will heat up faster, it also cools off faster. It's a good conductor of heat. So I don't know if that's what I want. You know, I want to get the sand hot inside, and then after the sun sets, I want it to dissipate the heat. But I don't want it to go all at once. I want it to go out slowly through the night. So I could set one of these sand batteries outside, gather heat all day, and then set it right beside my pump, or put it inside of the chicken coop or something like that. The chicken coop too, but the dog coops. So I can make a bunch of these things up and see how they work out, but I'm experimenting right now. So that's one of the things I did. Now again, if you guys are going to be moving off grid, if you see one of these sawhorses things made by Rockwell or any other company, you want to have one of those. That's a great tool to have off grid. It's an extra set of hands. What you do is you set the switch to lock, and you step down on the pedal, and it tightens, and it won't loosen up until you take it to unlock, and you step on the pedal just to release it. I also put the strap around this to hold it so that when I was putting the pressure down on the wrench with the pipe extension on it, and I used that big long extension and put that pressure on it, it was giving it a good grip there so it wouldn't turn. Okay, so that was one of them. I guess I may as well put my wrench inside here. Okay, I know you guys had your supper and your treats already, so there's no need for you to be following me around. You're not getting anything more tonight. It's breakfast time is the next time you'll see food. All right. So the other thing I did was I brought this in. I got myself a soup can, and you can see how I crimped the end of it. And I've showed it before in one of my other videos. These are the crimpers that you use for that. And these are for stovepipe also, when you know how one side is round and the other side is crimped. So the crimped fits inside of the round. So that's what these things are for. You put it on the metal and you squeeze, and it crimps a 2x3 set of finger snaps on there. So as you can see, I've got it in there. So I got myself a 3/8 bolt, and I had a 1/4, not a 5/16. But when I'm ready to, this is covering half the holes that I have in there. So I'm ready to raise it up to get some more air. I can put that in there. Then if I'm ready to raise it up, get more air, I'll put that in there. So I can go back and forth to see which one works the best to where my best air inlet is. And if that's, when it starts there, if it still has too much air, what I'm going to do is I got another can there, and I will cut the bottom out of it and slide it over this crimp so that I can come down even lower with it. Pretty cool, huh? All right. The next thing I did was I brought the waste oil burner indoors here, and I set it where I want it. And my plans so far are to put a board hanging down from the shelf there, and I'll put a support behind it, and then I can mount my tank bracket on there and then hang my tank up. So the tank will be right about where that picture of the rototiller is. And then the pipe will come over and connect into here. Now I can turn and adjust this as needed. So I also got the unit turned here, and I decided not to go out the sidewall with it because I would be going over the top of the shelf and I'd lose shelf space. I didn't want to do that. So I set it up, so I'm going to go up through the roof right there. And you can see the big circle I made. That big circle, and then one of the problems is I've got to cut that out with a jigsaw, which I have right there. But reaching up over my head with my sore back is very painful. So I might have to wait to do that. And we'll see. But yeah, that'll go up through there. And the marking up there is much bigger than the pipe. And that's because I've got a piece of spacer flashing that goes up through the wood to keep the stovepipe away from the wood so that it doesn't catch fire. Now, how did I find the location up there to be the center of that pipe? Very simply, a little thing called a plumb bob. Okay, so you put a string on the plumb bob and you hang it down till it's pointing right where you want it. And I had it pointing right down inside the center of the pipe. And then I marked where the string was on the roof up there. And that gave me my location for the center of the hole. And yeah, plumb bob, another good tool to have. And whenever you need to get something straight up and down, plumb bob. And they don't have any plumb jacks or plumb johns or plumb Andys. They have only plumb bobs. I think that's kind of rude. All right. So another thing is, this section of pipe, when I put it up there, goes through the roof about 6 inches, which is just about right, except if I put the cone flashing on the top, what they call a roof jack, then the joint of it's going to end up right in the middle of it. So what I'll have to do at that point is come down here and cut a little bit off the pipe, and then put the next section of pipe coming down through the roof the length I need it until the joint is inside of here, not up and outside. And I'm thinking I might do that before I actually go up on the roof. I'll cut this pipe so that it is just below the roof line, and then when I ready to go up on the roof, I'll feed the next section of pipe down through it. But I'll cut it off before I get up there because I only want it to be 36 inches above the roof, and that'll be just peachy dandy. All right, so with that all being said, as you can see, I've moved stuff around in here, made a hole, but I've got to rearrange stuff up on the top here. I make some room in the shelf so I can get like that tote and some other, the other blue tote and that stuff. I get that all put up there and put away so it's not in the way down here, because I want to clean this area out. Anybody that's in California who's a roofer or knows a roofer who does metal type roofs, this big white thing that goes down through here, I got the legs over there. I got a couple other pieces around the corner there. I've got a big shear for cutting the metal roofing. I've got the spacers here. The whole thing was like $1,800 when I bought it. So I'm looking to sell that because I'm not going to be doing any metal roofs in any time in my future. And this was only used twice, only used on 2 roofs. And this is a metal brake for bending it, and that's the other metal brake for bending it, the full length, because the lengths are 5 feet. So that's for doing a lengthways bend, and this is for doing a sideways bend. So I have all of the parts here. $1,800 was, I think it was $1,800. I can't read my code writing on there. But I bought this a long time ago, and it's been just taking up space in my shop. I need to get rid of it. I'll sell it really cheap. $500 to the first bidder. Okay? First come, first serve on that. And it will be a pickup. There will be no delivery on this thing because it just won't fit in the mailbox. All right? And I can't do UPS because I don't have an address. I only have a plot number. So anybody that's interested in that or knows somebody who's a roofer who might be interested in it, leave me a message down in the comment section. We'll get together and see if I can't get rid of that. And the $500 will come in handy for other things. Now, speaking of the money, I've been putting in every day. I've been putting in the link to my PayPal and looking for BAB. Or buy a block, buy a brick, whatever you want to say it. And I have got some from a few different people, but hardly anything. Now, Andy just asked in the questions today, how many brick or block do I think I'm going to need for the guest house? Well, my preliminary on it is this is just for the outer walls of the guest house. It's 900. And that would be a mixture of the 6/8/16s and 6/8/8s, which are a half blocks. So that's a lot of block. I think it's around $4,500 without tax from what I figure. So I'm looking for any assistance I can get on that. And that's going to be utilized for my premium patrons who pay every month to be on my channel, and then a couple of times a year or a few times a year, we'll draw to see which lucky patron gets to come out here. And depending on the tier that you're on, you'll get either a 3-day, a 7-day, or a 14-day stay out here. And you get to choose those, except for the basic patrons only get to choose the 3-day. And that may change down the line because I am allowed to make changes on that stuff. But tomorrow I'm going to clean up this rest of the batteries here. I'm not looking forward to lifting that Type 39 battery because that's heavy. But I've got to get it all indoors before the rains come next week. They're saying it's going to start Wednesday now. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the best chance for rain. But it said it could be real heavy at times. So let's hope for that. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget your thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe and comments all the way down below. This is G Bear signing off.